That's good.
So you've got to take care of yourself. You've got
So we should put ourselves number one if possible.
Absolutely. You have to. And not only take care of yourself in the present, you got to look out for your future too.
Yeah, but
and that's
women
one
don't
of the
look
things
at
we don't
Yeah,
do.
we don't
do that.
No.
One of the things I've been doing with a lot of my clients lately, I've just been having them just doing financial planning with them. Just look at the picture that's in front of them, creating the picture, where they are.
Okay, create the picture for me.
Right. In other words.
The house is first.
Okay.
Okay, the house.
The house is first.
Then there's the food recipes and food money we need for food.
Correct.
Then you should throw in a little bit of entertainment, just like you said. We've got to take time for ourselves.
Correct.
Should we go out to dinner or should I make something quick at home?
Well, that just depends. I mean, I think you should reward yourself from time to time. But if you don't have the luxury of eating out every week, well, you may decide, okay, we're going to go out once a month and have a nice dinner. In the meantime, you know, we will eat at home.
Right.
You have to reward yourself. You know, you have to live life in the midst of going through your crises.
Don't you think a woman should know the money? Well, let's put it this way. Should you know every single penny that your husband makes so that you both can decide on who spends what and what should we buy?
I strongly believe you should.
I think so too,
Because
yes.
first of all, it goes back to trust. I mean, you know, if we really trust each other and we're in this relationship together, we should know everything about each other.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes, and unfortunately, men take the attitude, well, you know, I don't want you to know some things because, you know, it's going to be too much and I'm trying to protect you.
It's going to make you upset. I'm
And
going to
like,
watch over
no,
you.
No. It's what you don't know that can hurt you.
Exactly.
So you need to know, particularly when it comes to finances. I'm appalled sometimes at the number of women who I find out, you know, their husbands, you know, die and they find out there's no life insurance.
Oh.
You know, oh yes,
Okay.
these things happen.
Okay.
Or they find out all of a sudden because the husband is taking care of all the bills, they're finding it's not only one mortgage, it's 3 mortgages is on the house.
Oh, okay,
Okay. So, I mean, you know, these things happen all because
There's some
you don't
sneaky
take the
little bookers
time
out there,
to
aren't
find
there?
out.
There's little sneakies out there. Yes. I'd like to see everything in black and white.
Yes, I think it's important. If you're in a relationship together, you have to be in it together. And that's mean knowing all things together.
Right,
That's extremely important in the
exactly.
relationship. You have to know things.
And you can't be too young to learn.
Oh, no, never too young to learn. I mean, you should be learning something every day.
Okay, such as?
Information is important. When it comes to financial information, I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as a dumb question, okay? Because if you don't know it, guess what? You need to be informed. And you don't have to become the expert yourself, but you just need to know where to go get good financial information. And
They should come to you.
That's right, exactly.
They should come to you, exactly.
They
exactly.
should. And
Because
there's-
you are a woman. Right now, we're primary talking to women. You know that. Men
Yes.
aren't going to watch this show that much.
Okay.
Because a lot of them probably go scared anyway. But, I mean, you and I, we can converse right here because
Yeah.
you know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. A woman has to be protected.
Yes.
She must. And if I think there should become some stipulation if we separate, I want X amount of dollars for maybe 2 years to get back on my feet. What do you think, huh?
Well, I think if you, the issue is this: if you should want to make sure your wife is taken care of. That's the issue,
Right.
Okay. Make sure that if she's accustomed to living in a nice home,
The way
even if
she's
you're
married.
not with her, you want to still to see her live in a nice home. That's being responsible. That's being
Right.
caring. That's being sharing. You know, you have to be adult about situations like this. The relationship didn't last, but listen, we can be friends. We can live life together. We can move on, especially if you have children. You're going to
Right.
have to be friends. You're going to have to learn to be friends. You have children, you know, and guess what? The children, they're going to grow up and they're going to get married and you're going to have grandchildren. And you're going to have to live life with
Right.
this person as in it. So you have to have a respectable level of tolerance for
Right.
each other and have some aspect of relationship that you can enjoy.
I know one couple, I'm not going to mention any names, but he will pay the bills and what's left over, he does what he wants to do with it. And she works. She'll buy the food, and what's left over, she can do whatever she wants to do with it. These are two good people, two very good people, but I was shocked. That's living separate lives.
Yeah. Well, you know, people have different points of view when it comes to this. They really do. I take the view that, you know, what we know, we should know together.
Exactly.
Okay, I
agree.
really do.
I agree.
We should know together, and we should share together, and you should be responsible enough to sit down and know what's going on in your household. Now, there are some couples that they put everything in one pot, okay, and they put everything in a household accounts, and that carries and takes care of everything in the house. And then, just for convenience purposes, they may have their own checking accounts that they use, you know, and they use that for their spending money, their shopping and money, and that's fine.
Yeah.
The issue is that we come together
On the
and
big
on the
items,
big items
the
that are
cars, the
important, that really
houses.
matters, you know, the
What about
retirement.
children's education for college
Education,
as well?
that's right. You have to be planning for that. You can't imagine the number of my clients from time to time I have, and I'm always encouraging them, listen, she's just 6 months old, but guess what? It's not too early to start planning.
Right. Before you know, she's going to be 16
She's
years
going to be
old.
graduating from high school,
Exactly,
okay?
exactly.
And we haven't put away a dime
For college.
for college. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes small amounts of money over the period of time. And you will be, you can't imagine what you can just accumulate in such a short period of time if you start early.
If you start early.
If you start early. That's very important, in starting early.
Well, you know, a lot of the kids that I work with, they're maybe 17 or 18, and they will work, I don't want to mention the places, but they take some of their money and save, put in the college fund as well.
Yeah, that's
but
very
not all the
important.
children are like that, kids or whatever you want to call them.
Right. I think it's very important that you have to teach kids from an early point of view to know what to do with money.
Right.
I was very important growing up. I had a grandmother.
Oh, yes, I want to hear that story with your grandmother. Tell me.
She was a very instrumental person in my life. My grandmother owned convenience stores, what we call, they were general stores back in the late 50s, and just like country stores. And they were out in some of the rural areas of the town. And what she would do, she would start these stores, and basically she would sell the basic goods, you know, staples that we needed to live on, and she would basically be a place where they wouldn't actually have to come all the way in the city, so they could just stop by her convenience store. Well, it really paid off for my grandmother. And over the period of time, she added to that particular business. She added in that store what was called a recreational hall, what at that time was called a pool hall. Okay. And what happens sometimes, a meeting place, yeah. And she added a pool hall, and that was another component that produced, you know, income for that. And then she put some music in there, and that was another component that added to that.
Oh my goodness!
And so
smart
she
lady.
just saw the demand, and she just, as she kept seeing these demands, she said, okay, I'm going to meet that demand. And I learned a very valuable tool from her. I learned that when you have a product or service, and you have something that's in demand, and you can bring it with a cost that's covered, that's not exorbitant, you can always produce a positive result.
Really?
Not only did she have the general stores, she would do something on Saturday. My grandmother used to cook crabs once a month.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was something very interesting in the South that we did. She would cook crabs in the special recipe that she had. It's one of the family secret recipes. And the neighborhood just loved them. And once a month she would just cook this batch of crabs up. She had people work with her, she would fix it all up, and people would just come by them. And I mean, this was in the late 50s, and my grandmother made money just doing this once a month on a Saturday.
I'm sure she did.
So I saw that if you put hard work in, if you can produce something good, you can really have a positive result in life.
You get what you give.
Yes, if you mix the good ingredients together, you're going to get a positive outcome. And that's what I gained from her. So I think I received my entrepreneur spirit from her.
You enjoy what you do, I can tell. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this now probably about 18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
You still enjoy it because I can see the light in your eyes.
I'm enjoying it. And sometimes the work can get tedious, but at the end of the day, when I see people making good quality financial decisions, or I can help a single mom who for the first time realized she's purchased a home and she didn't know she could get that big tax credit, and you know, and to
you
see
can
her
get a
face,
big tax credit if you're
oh,
single?
Yeah, well, what's right now in the particular law for last year, if you were a first-time homeowner, you could get an $8,500 credit, or
That's
from
wonderful.
existing people who had homes over a certain period of time, you get a $6,000 credit. Well, I had this young lady come to me, and she was taking care of her son and two of her nephews.
Aww.
And basically, you know, she said, I think I can get this credit. I said, you most certainly can. And she was really struggling to make it. And to do that tax return and to amend it and let her get that $8,000, it was absolutely phenomenal to see the glow on her face when that happened. And when you can affect someone's life like that, it just makes your day.
Definitely make your day. You could walk and don't feel your feet touching the the floor.
Really?
It's a wonderful feeling.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Or the same situation, I see someone, who's planning for retirement, and they don't know what to do with their money, and I can sit down after one meeting, we can do some strategies, go over a number of things that can really help them, and they can see how they're going to make it, and it just makes them feel so much better. It just makes their esteem go up.
It makes them powerful.
They feel they're going to make it. They're empowered.
Yes, they are.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, to see women empowered, I thrive off of that. To see you change for the better. I think I would probably call myself a catalyst for change. I really am. I really like to see people's lives financially improve.
I like to see people's lives change as well. But like you said, it's got to start when you're very young. I used to save pennies and dimes and nickels and all that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah. But my mother used to say a penny could make a nickel can make a dime makes a quarter, and a quarter can bring you $1.
That's right.
But I mean, it's not. Today's world has changed, Shawana. You know that. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It really, really is. It's tough.
It is.
It's tough for keeping your jobs.
It's very tough, and in the midst of what right now, we're in a very transitional economy.
Oh, yes,
people
we are
losing jobs. People have had, even the people who thought they would have jobs for 20 and 30 years. We don't have that anymore.
You don't. The teachers are being let go constantly.
When you would stay on a job for 15 or 20 years.
Yes.
If you can stay on a job 5 years now,
you're lucky.
Good. You're lucky. Okay.
You're very lucky.
So you just get to the point. You just have to kind of just go with the flow in life, because things are not as predictable. We live in a time that things are very uncertain. Yeah. So you can't get to the point where you get bogged down with the worry and the care of life. You've got to get beyond that, because these things will come, but you can't allow these anxieties to make you become immovable and don't do anything and just kind of stop living. You can't do that.
No, you can't. But I've talked to a lot of guys who have told me that they turn to drinking now with the way that the living standards are. They take a beer that helps take the edge off.
Yeah.
But we have had our 30 minutes. Can you believe that?
It's been 30 minutes already.
It's been 30 minutes already.
I can't believe we haven't even gotten all the questions.
You'll have to come back again.
Well, I would love to come back, Angela.
Next week, I will bring you back over here and we'll talk again.
Oh, thank you.
Shawanda Williams.
Been wonderful.
I've had a wonderful time with you.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for watching and enjoy this lady as much as I've enjoyed her. Until next time.